Hi guys. Today I'm going to share with you chapter 6 of Wayside School is Falling Down, and it's called Pigtails. I just want to warn you before I start reading you this story that I have another one of my special guests, and some of you might not like this one. This is Hank. And Hank is going to listen to my story today. Hank is a corn snake. And he's actually Jordan's, my daughter's. He doesn't want to be in the camera. There you go. Right now I have a couple cats sitting around watching to see if I'm going to let them play with this snake, and I will not let them play with the snake. But you can see he's sticking his tongue out and he's trying to smell me. That's how they smell. And he'll just do this the whole time. He'll just kind of move and slither. Now, don't be too creeped out. They're not slimy. They're very soft, actually. Very smooth. And Hank, we've had for about 3 years now. He does eat mice, not live mice. We buy frozen ones, little ones at the pet stores. So he's another one of our pets here. Not mine, but he's Jordan's. So I just wanted you to see this one and see if he behaves a little better than Finnegan did last night. All right, the story's called Pigtails. "Hi, Leslie," said Paul. "Hi, Paul," said Leslie. They were friends now. Paul hadn't pulled either of her pigtails in a long time. Paul sat in a desk behind Leslie. Once, a long time ago, he pulled Leslie's pigtails. It felt great. That is, Paul thought, it felt great. Leslie didn't think it felt so good. But that was earlier in the year, when Paul was younger and immature. Now he knew better. Still, her 2 long brown pigtails hung in front of his face all day, every day. The bell rang for recess. "Leslie," said Paul, "can I talk to you for a second?" "Sure, Paul," said Leslie. They were alone in the room. All the other kids had rushed down the stairs. Mrs. Jules had run to the teacher's lounge. "I've been really good today, right?" asked Paul. "I haven't pulled one of your pigtails in a long time, have I?" "So what do you want, a medal?" asked Leslie. Paul laughed. "No, well, could I ask you something?" "Sure," said Leslie. Paul took a breath. "May I pull just one of your pigtails?" he asked. "Please?" "No," said Leslie. He just keeps on moving. "Please," Paul begged. "I won't pull it hard. No one will have to know. Please, please, please. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Please." "You're sick," exclaimed Leslie. Paul lowered his head. "I'm sorry," he said. "You're right. I don't know what came over me. I won't ask again." "Good," said Leslie. She shook her head in disgust. Paul watched her pigtails waggle. "Can I just touch one?" he asked. "I won't pull it, I promise." "No." "What's wrong with just touching one?" Paul asked. "Yuck, you're gross," said Leslie, as she turned and marched out of the room. Paul watched her go. Her pigtails seemed to wave goodbye to him. He slapped himself in the face with both hands. What's wrong with me, he wondered. He walked to the side of the room and leaned over the counter. He stuck his head out the window to get some fresh air. Down below, he could see the kids playing on the playground. They looked like tiny toys from up there. Leslie stepped back into the classroom. "I'm getting my hair trimmed tomorrow," she announced. "If you want, I'll save the pieces for you. It'll just be some split ends, though." Paul was so excited, he forgot where he was. He quickly raised his head. It bashed against the window frame. Then he bounced forward and toppled out the window. Leslie stared in horror at the open window, then rushed toward it. She leaned over the counter and looked down. "Help!" gasped Paul. There was one brick on the side of the building that stuck out a little farther than the others. Paul desperately held on to it with both hands. "I'll go get Louis," said Leslie. "He'll save you." "No, don't go," cried Paul. "I can't hold on. My fingers are slipping." Leslie reached down for him. "I'll try to grab my hand," she said. Paul made a grab for it, but he missed. Then quickly grabbed onto the brick again. "I can't. Help. I'm scared." "Just don't look down," said Leslie, as she tried to stay calm. She put her head back in through the window. "Where are you going?" cried Paul. "Help! Don't leave me." Leslie looked around Mrs. Jewell's room for a rope or an extension cord or something for Paul to grab, but she couldn't find anything. "No, Storm, you can't have the snake." She returned to the window, sighed, then leaned backward. Her hands tightly held to the edge of the counter as she looked up at the sky. "All right, grab my pigtails," she said, and then she winced. A big smile came across Paul's face. "Really?" he asked. "Just do it," said Leslie. The pigtails hung about a foot above Paul's head. He let go of the brick with his right hand and grabbed her right pigtail. "Yeah!" Leslie yelped. He grabbed her left pigtail with his left hand. "Yeah!" she screamed. "Okay, pull me in," said Paul. His legs dangled beneath him. Leslie's eyes watered in pain as she tried to step away from the window. "I can't," she groaned. "You're too heavy." Paul swung his legs up against the side of the building. "Try now." Leslie groaned. She took a small step away from the window as Paul took a small step up the wall. Then they each took another small step. At last, Paul managed to get one foot on top of the brick that was sticking out. Leslie put her head back inside the window. As she took another step, Paul let go of one pigtail and grabbed the windowsill. Leslie took another step. She pulled Paul the rest of the way through. They both collapsed on the floor, tired and sore. "Oh, my head hurts," said Leslie. "Wow, you saved my life," said Paul. "Well, don't worry. Someday I'll save yours." "You don't have to," said Leslie. "Just don't pull my pigtails anymore." "I won't," said Paul. Suddenly he laughed. "What's so funny?" asked Leslie. "This time your pigtails pulled me." It's kind of cute. All right, so that was the picture. And the next chapter, chapter 7, will be called Freedom. Freedom. Okay, so I'll give you one last look at Hank. I've got two cats near me right now. I've got Storm on the ground waiting to see if I'm going to let Hank go. Oh, there she is. And I've got Loki waiting to see if I can let Hank go. What do you think, Storm? No. Look. Look. You want to see him? You want to see the snake? Oh, it's like a zoo in my house. All right, guys. Have a good day. Goodbye from Hank and the rest of the Patterson Zoo. See ya.